Greetings, my friends. Thank you for watching this video, and if you would be so kind, please subscribe if you like what you see. Help our channel to keep growing and keep fighting the war to save pop culture. Together, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. Enjoy, and thanks. Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today with the future destroyer of Earth, my best friend and arch nemesis, Harvey Cthulhu. Harvey, say hello to all the nice folks out there in the audience.
Greetings to all of you out there in television land. You will all perish in flames when I escape this containment field and destroy your universe, but that probably won't happen in the next 10 minutes, so I'll just say hello. So Doomcock, what are we going to talk about today?
The one bright shining piece of good news in all of pop culture, the Orville New Horizons. I have seen the first episode of this remarkable series, and all I can say is bravo. Seth MacFarlane has created a show that proudly carries on in the grand tradition of Star Trek, especially ironic given that the cretins currently making their sick, twisted, and woefully deficient version of Star Trek have completely screwed the space pooch and have driven off the fan base and killed the franchise. Odd that something which started out as a parody of Star Trek is actually more Star Trek than Star Trek, but these are the weird times we live in. The Orville is the last remnant of Gene Roddenberry's vision of a brighter future, and what a bright remnant it is. After 3 long years, our long national nightmare is over, and the Orville New Horizons is back with a 3rd season, this time on Hulu.
It used to be on Fox, right? What changes have they made to the show now that it's shifted from broadcast to streaming?
Nothing has changed in terms of quality. The writing has always been sharp, the effects beautiful, the actors outstanding, and the spirit of the show remains heartfelt, warm, and wise. What has changed is now they don't have to worry about hitting a specific episode length. This 3rd season opener clocks in at 1 hour and 10 minutes, and future episodes will be as long as Seth thinks they need to be. Some longer, some shorter, depending on the material. The Orville is also no longer censored. They can use any kind of language they choose, but in addition to all of these changes, they have renamed the show The Orville New Horizons to reflect a new emphasis on exploration and adventure, and somewhat less emphasis on the humor. For some who felt the Orville was always a bit too jokey for Star Trek fans, this will be something of a relief, but to me, the humor was always central to the identity of the Orville. So hearing that they were veering away from the humor that was a trademark of the series was cause for concern. And while we still don't know how that balance is going to play out as Season 3 unfolds, I can tell you that I'm not as worried as I was after watching this premiere. Yes, there is less emphasis on humor in the show, but the warmth of the show, its essential humanity, is undiminished, and the action is definitely ramped up. The action sequence opening of the show, which they clipped in its entirety for the Season 3 trailer, is spectacular, expensive, and thrilling. If this is a taste of what's to come in Season 3, I am beyond thrilled. The opening would not have been out of place in a feature film, and it gets the show off to a terrific start. Turns out that the opening, which depicts Dr. Finn's son running through the ship during a pitched battle with the Kaylon fleet, as seen in Season 2's 2-part thriller Identity, it was a dream sequence mirroring the trauma that young Jake felt when Isaac, the Kaylon android stationed on the Orville, turned out to be a traitor that nearly destroyed the human race. This sequence both reminds us of what happened in Season 2 and sets up the central conflict of this episode, which involves the crew's unresolved anger and resentment towards Isaac.
Yeah, man. Even though in the end, Isaac saved the Orville by taking himself and the Kaylons who had captured the Orville out with an EMP pulse, that apparently didn't make up for Isaac lying to them all along about his mission, which was to evaluate the Orville crew to see if humanity deserved to survive. Based on Isaac's data, the answer was hell no, an answer that I share. You will all perish in flames, as I said before, and when I get out, there won't be any Isaac to save your universe. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, that's why I won't push the button to release you until all hope is lost, Harvey. As I've said many times before, I will either rule this world or destroy it, but that's neither here nor there. The opening dream sequence shows us how afraid Marcus is of Isaac after his betrayal, a fear and resentment that the rest of the crew shares, and this is the central conflict of the episode. Crew members aboard the Orville actively avoid Isaac. He is largely shunned, a pariah, an outcast, who cannot return home to Kalon since he turned on them, and he is not welcome on the Orville by many of the crew, given his participation in the Kalon attack on Earth.
And so in a way, we watched Isaac the android evolve from being a straight-up analog of Mr. Data on the Next Generation to being more of a stand-in for Spock. He is now caught between two worlds, just as Spock was, belonging to neither and feeling very alone. Brilliant move by Seth MacFarlane.
Excellent observation, Harvey. At one point, someone paints murderer on the wall of Isaac's lab, and at one point Marcus Finn says directly to Isaac, "I wish you were dead," all of which leads Isaac to seriously consider suicide.
That's dark stuff, Doomcock. Very dark stuff.
It's true, Harvey. There's a hell of a lot of fun to be found in this episode, new design elements that help to highlight the series' amazing new look and feel. There are new sets, a cool new shuttlecraft, a fantastic new one-man fighter craft that's sleek as hell, and even a new captain's chair. And yet, in what is a very bold choice for a season opener, especially following the show's long absence due to COVID, this episode deep dives into the concepts of PTSD, loss, grief, and suicide. This is not a whiz-bang shoot-'em-up episode, despite an excellent opening and a battle in the middle. This is actually a deep, thoughtful exploration into what it means to be serving next to and being friends with someone who has killed people you cared for and is a member of a species at war with the Union and all of humanity.
Isaac and suicide, man. Not the kind of feel-good opening one might ideally want for a season premiere, especially after being away for so damn long, but honestly, if they weren't going to deal with the Isaac issue now, then when was there going to be a time to do it?
Exactly. I think while this might not have been the best marketing decision to rope in new viewers looking to have a fun, somewhat comedic romp, it was an artistically valid decision, and it shows that Seth MacFarlane is willing to take artistic chances, which I applaud. This episode indeed does go to dark places, and one of the darkest of the characters is, in addition to the crew, a new navigator named Charlie Burke, who is a woman despite her name.
A shot at Mikey Spock, do you think?
Given that they also introduced a tardigrade-like crew member back when STD was obsessed with a blue space-going tardigrade that many felt was flat-out stolen from indie game developer Anna Sabdeen, I think the Orville often has fun at the expense of their brain-damaged cousins in the Star Trek writers' room, so Charlie may also be a dig at Mikey Spock. At any rate, Charlie has directly suffered loss at the hands of the Kalon attack and nurses a great deal of hatred for Isaac, a hatred that may seal Isaac's fate and impact the show moving forward. Most of the main cast is put on the back burner in this episode, leaving the emotional exploration to those who love and hate Isaac the most. Considering this is the introduction to Ensign Burke, she goes through a great story arc in this episode, arriving at the end of her arc in a very real and meaningful way. Character arcs are something that Star Trek Discovery never even came close to doing.
Well, to have character arcs, Doomcock, you have to have characters, which is also something that STD never had, along with coherence, literacy, competence, and quality. Basically, Kurtzman Trek blows donkeys in Tijuana. There. Someone had to say it.
Well, shine on, you crazy diamond. In conclusion, I'd like to make a personal appeal to all of you. Please watch this show. Please rewatch this show. Please do everything you can to send a signal to Hulu that the Orville New Horizons is exactly the kind of entertainment we want. It's not enough to protest the garbage that we hate. We must also support the shows that we love, people. Without respect, we reject, yes. But with respect, we accept. Please support this show.
I would also ask you, Doomcock, in this episode, Malloy makes a point of saying at the end, stay angry. A tip of the hat to you, Doomcock, in your struggle to save pop culture, do you think?
Well, it's possible, Harvey. I have had some communication with someone in the production, so I know I'm on their radar. And if that was the case, I humbly thank them for this tribute. I also want to send out thanks to Seth MacFarlane and Tom Constantino, along with the rest of the cast and crew. Thank you for bringing us quality entertainment and rising above this morass of mediocrity to shine. The Orville is off to an amazing start with this thoroughly poignant episode. Watch the Orville, people, and help make certain that great entertainment does not pass from the world. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry. Ha 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 ha.